Hey everybody, this is the fourth year, and in this video I want to introduce you to my Patch Your Keys preset for FL Studio. This preset is included in my new preset pack called FL Studio Bass Stabs. In this video I'm going to show you how it sounds and how it works. So let's get started. So this preset is supposed to be a synthesized key preset. So it's not meant to sound like a real piano, but it is supposed to sound like a nice synthesized, almost E piano type thing. And then depending on the settings, it can also sound like a synthesized mallet sound or a synthesized bell sound. So this is what it sounds like with the default settings. So the first thing I want to show off about this preset is something that isn't involved in these different parameters, and that is the fact that this preset is velocity sensitive. So if you have a velocity sensitive keyboard, then depending on how you play your keyboard, if you play a key harder or softer, it will cause the sound to sound different. And you can see this if because I don't have a velocity sensitive keyboard right now, you can hear what happens when I play on this here. So you can hear that, of course, as I play it harder or play it louder. It gets louder, but it also, the high-pitched tine sound, that gets a lot more present. It gains more harmonics as I play it louder. And then the sustained sound also gets, it's a lot more subtle, but it does have more harmonics present as well. So I think that's a pretty cool feature, and I wanted to include that on this preset. It really adds a lot more character to the sound. So this preset does have two control surfaces. It has the core settings and the main settings. I'm not going to tell you what all the core settings do because they are, the basic course settings. If you want to, you can look at the FL Studio manual for fruity flanges. Because that's the course that I used, was the flanges. And then that will tell you what these different parameters do. So what I'm going to focus on in this video is the different parameters that affect the key sound itself. So this first parameter here is chorus mix. Right now it's all the way down, but this just determines how much of that chorus, this chorus, is mixed into the sound. So that determines the mix level of the chorus, and you can adjust how the chorus itself sounds by adjusting those settings. Now the next one is pan key map, and what this determines is how much the panning is key mapped. So if I go back to this keyboard with it all the way down, you can hear as I play across the keys, it stays dead center. But if I turn that all the way up and do the same thing, you can hear that it pans from left to right as you play from low to high. And so this determines the extent at which that happens. If it's all the way off, that doesn't happen at all. If it's in the middle, it kind of happens half and half, and all the way up is the maximum amount. So the next parameter is pan /volume tremolo. And this is something that's pretty common on, E piano sounds. And so when it's in the center like this at 50%, which is the reset value, it is off. But if you turn it up, it turns on the volume tremolo, which, the volume just kind of oscillates. If you turn that down, it turns on the panning tremolo. So the panning oscillates in this case. And then there's the tremolo speed parameter here, which determines the rate of that LFO. And then over here you have the output, which is just the output level for the preset. So that's nice, because this can get kind of loud, and you can just reduce that if it's too loud, without having to do it in the mixer or anything. So the rest of these parameters are all directly linked to the character of the sound. So you can see piano harmonics here determines the presence of the harmonics on the sustained sound. So if I turn this down all the way, it will just be a sine wave. But as I turn it up, it will add more harmonics. And those are the harmonics that kind of make it sound like kind of like an E piano. You also have the piano decay and the piano release. And that, it's just the decay and the release. So if I turn the release all the way down, you can hear as soon as I stop playing a key, it goes straight to silence. Whereas if I have it up a bit, it does have a nice little bit of release and sounds more natural. And then the decay is the same thing, but with the decay, if I turn that all the way down, it decays quite quickly, and if I turn it up, it will take longer to decay. Now I'm going to turn the piano harmonics off for a moment so that you can hear what the mallet harmonics sound like. And these are basically just the same idea as the piano, but with harmonics that make it sound like a mallet sound. And you can see that the mallet decay is very low, but the piano decay it's the decay on that sine wave if the piano harmonics is all the way down. So it does matter even if you're not using the harmonics. Just because it's a sine wave. And then the mallet harmonics are added on to that. So if I turn this up a bit, you can hear it kind of sounds like a mallet sound. And it's the same idea. If I turn it up more, those harmonics will be more present. And then I can also turn the decay up if I wanted to. And then, the decay and the release work the same way, except they are also kind of connected to the piano decay and the piano release. So you do have to keep that in mind. And then finally, you have the settings for the tine. So you can hear when I play it, there's kind of a high-pitched pluck or impact type sound. And that is the tine. So I can adjust the tine level. I can turn it all the way off if I wanted to. Or I can turn it up quite a bit. and I can just set the level wherever I want it to be. And I can adjust the frequencies of that tine by adjusting the tine pitch. So right now it's fairly high pitched, but I can turn that pitch up, or I can turn it down. And then you also have tine intensity, and this will change kind of the level of the tine, but not as much. It's more the harmonics present and the impact of the tine. So if I turn this down, you can hear the tine gets kind of less harmonics. If I turn it up, I'll actually turn the pitch down a bit too. As I turn it up, you'll hear the tine will get more harmonics. So you can kind of balance the tine intensity and the tine level to get the sound you want. And early on in this video, I mentioned the velocity sensitivity, and it's the tine intensity that is velocity sensitive. So you can keep in mind that this is related to that velocity sensitivity. If it's too much or too little when you're playing the sound, you can adjust this to compensate for that. So that's pretty much it for this sound. The link is in the description if you are interested in the sound for the whole pack. And there are also some different presets. There's 20 presets that are already made. And you can play with those. So, it is capable of producing quite a variety of sounds, and I did make a number of different sounds with it that are included in the pack. And like I said before, the link is in the description if you're interested in it. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.